one time in my entire life, I decided to like cook for myself. And I was like, let me make these like, you know, a little like sweet green bowl because I had just been in LA and my friend kept making them. And I was like, I'm going to come home and I'm going to roast vegetables.
I remember when you were in this mood.
Yeah, I do it. I buy everything from my local grocery store, Soho Market, whatever, which is a bodega. And I eat it once, fine, doesn't taste good. Second day, I reheat it. So does Leisure Center. And shit our brains out for 2 days.
Are you sure it was the
Diarrhea.
rice and maybe not the vegetables?
Who could tell? I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
Nor a chef. So yeah, it might just be white people, but I am patient zero. We're talking about like if rice will poison you if you reheat it.
Which is, I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
I wouldn't know because like I feel like I've never gotten food poisoning in my life. I feel like I've
I
gotten
don't
food
either.
like one time.
I truly don't either.
food
I have a
poisoning
really
once.
strong stomach.
What was from?
I was in Mexico and I went on I was in Mexico City and I went on those, I forgot what they're called, but like the colorful little boats. And anyway, the people drive by, I mean, on their little boats and you can buy food. And I bought food out of a boat and that was in a bucket. And
we did that in Guatemala
we
too.
did, but that wasn't even
that
food
was out of a
poisoning like
bucket.
what happened to me in Mexico. I will tell you now.
I mean, literally, I'll just get diarrhea. That's pretty much.
No, what happened to me in Mexico was throwing up and diarrhea. I was throwing up. I popped a blood vessel in my eye. You know, it was like I had that blood stain.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
It's fucked up. Wow, gorgeous start to the pod. Okay, this is Corn. This is our guest, Corn.
She's a top.
She dressed. Yeah, she's a female top.
I'm just here
long-haired chihuahua
as her handler.
Yes, and then she brought along our guest, who is an amazing comedian, podcaster.
Mother.
Well, yeah, this is what I was going to say. You are really selling the motherhood lifestyle to me personally. I think Carolina agrees.
It's very authentic.
You sell it well. You seem like you have fun, and
but you're not
I love
selling
your
it.
Kid.
You're not selling
Why?
it. You're just, she's not selling it in the sense that
no,
she's
I'm
like,
saying she's making
like
it look
mommy,
good.
yeah.
No.
Vlogging.
I'm saying she's
Yeah.
selling it to me. Like I am like, well, I would maybe do it that way. Because it's cute. You live downtown. Your son's amazing.
We're neighbors.
Cracks me up. We're neighbors.
I really want your son and my nephew to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he would love that.
My nephew loves to go downtown.
So nice. Oh, really? Oh,
he is the best. His name is Parker. He's very cool.
We should take everyone to
He's 9?
He's 10.
Oh, perfect.
Same shit.
Yeah.
Because Mino's about to turn 10.
Okay, perfect.
In 2 weeks. And he's been wanting to go. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera like I'm a fucking professional.
I do all the time.
Like, welcome to the view.
I do it all the time.
I don't know what I'm doing. He's been wanting to go on a cruise for like years now.
You must take him.
And so every year I'm like, yeah, sure, we're gonna definitely do that. And I'm like, there is no fucking way.
Right.
But because I don't know, it just seems weird, like claustrophobic to me. It seems like Disneyland,
cruises.
but you've been? I've never been.
I've been on so many cruises.
Oh,
I also did semester at sea when I studied abroad in college.
Did?
So I lived on a cruise boat for like 2.5, 3 months. And I will tell you right now, I'm a queen, a cruise girl.
But she's a really good traveler. Youngmi, like every time you go on a trip, I'm like, she is doing it.
I'm in trance.
Right.
You know, I'm a TikTok fan.
Oh, really?
I'm a TikTok fan. Yeah.
Like of me or of TikTok?
Of
She loves the app.
Oh, okay.
Of you.
I was like,
where did you go last year with your friends?
oh, Thailand.
Thailand. And then you went to Korea with your son and your mom.
Yeah.
Fan.
You know, when I was, when Mino was 4, this is before I was on TikTok, but when he was 4, I took him to the Great Wall of China by myself and Thailand by myself to go see this elephant sanctuary.
That's amazing.
And I feel like the travel thing is I know how to travel really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And people, and I think obviously any sort of like disposable income is hard for most people, but like I can travel like the Thailand, the Great Wall of China thing. Literally, I think I spent like $2,000 total.
with you and Mino.
Yeah, with me and Mino.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, it's like
and it's so good for them. Like my nephew and my niece have been traveling since they were younger.
Oh, good.
And it's kind of like you. Like my sister has always taken them, you know, all over. And then recently this summer we took my niece to Greece.
Ooh,
Not on
She's
purpose.
16.
Not
She's
on
16.
purpose.
Not on purpose. Why?
She's 16.
What does that mean?
Well, like we kind of kidnapped her, but in a way that her parents said that we could take her and leave her
kidnapped
there.
me kind of as well. I was roped into it.
You
She
were
was
all
being
together?
bad. She was being bad, and we told her we were taking her on vacation to Greece. But actually, and it was vacation for a couple of days. But then my cousin just moved to Greece.
Yeah.
She actually, the plan was to have her spend the summer in Greece with my cousin, kind of being like an au pair to her baby, and that's what happened. But she just didn't know she was going to be there for the summer.
Oh, okay, so you like kidnapped her.
I said, if you want to come to Greece with me
Yeah.
to go to Kiki's, I will be in Europe at this time. She bamboozled me into the nanny job, which was unpaid.
Oh, that was Melissa was the au pair. I thought
No. My niece stayed
I
in
think Corin
Greece
just
to
peed.
be like an au pair to my cousin Becky.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because my cousin Becky just moved to Greece.
Man,
Did you
And
just
she has a little
pee?
baby.
but
She just
no one
peed.
cared.
No
Did she?
way.
Where?
Sorry, Con. It's okay.
Where? Where?
Don't worry about it.
So sorry.
Just right there.
Oh
No,
my
don't worry
God.
about it. Chatty
I'm sorry.
Cathy's
I'm
over
gonna
here.
clean it up.
No, don't worry.
I'm gonna
We'll
Clean it
clean
up.
it up.
We'll
We'll
clean
clean
it
it
up.
up. We will clean it up.
Okay,
as
moving
a
on
group.
from the Greece thing. We've
Yes.
talked about this a
Moving
million
on from
times.
Greece. We have
what
talked about
I
it a
want to
million
talk to you
times.
about is, did I make up this story that Pete Wells fucked up your birth?
Oh no. I tweeted it. I like did a tweet.
I was like,
thread.
did we talk about this or
Who's
did I
Pete
read
Wells?
Exactly.
it? Who is Pete
The end of the
Wells?
story. No one needs to know.
Literally.
So Pete Wells is the God. I wonder if he's still important.
I just remember
Am I
being
gonna get
fascinated by
like
this
in trouble?
story. Thanks,
Corn,
Connor.
stop it. Stop.
That was really funny, Corn.
Stop. Sorry.
You're going
That's
to get
how
us in trouble, Corn.
Corn, I can't believe you're peed. This is so embarrassing for me, honestly. She never does that. I don't know.
She's so
She's
funny.
so funny and
I
cute.
want a Chihuahua. If anyone has any leads on Chihuahuas or Chihuahua mixes, you know, I went on a wild chase with Chihuahuas where I was going to Long Island, and then they were like, "Oh, you live in Manhattan? These dogs can't live in Manhattan
Why? What?
because they're
so
traumatized.
small.
Because they're traumatized and there's too much noise."
Oh, she
Whatever.
loves it.
I was
She
just
loves
like,
it.
could have told me that at
She
the beginning of the day. Yeah, she
Corn,
loves
do
it.
you like Manhattan?
She's a city girl.
She loved it.
It's a great neighborhood.
Downtown girl.
Okay, so Pete Wells saying he is the food critic, the restaurant critic for the New York Times. So he's like, I guess, important. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. What is he gonna do? I don't have a restaurant anymore.
I know. That's what I figured. I figured it'd be fun to talk about, but I just remember being on like the edge of my seat when you were either telling me this or I was reading it.
Let me remember. Yeah, it was like a tweet thread.
Keeping Danny on the phone or
Yeah.
something for like an inordinate amount of time. And it was just such a good story that was like the perils of the restaurant industry never
Maybe
fucking
I should find
end.
the tweet so I can.
Yeah.
Like, wait, where's my phone?
Did you watch The Bear?
It's by Corn.
No, I feel like it's
You
Wait,
should.
should we
Like,
explain? Wait, should we explain that you and your
my ex-husband.
ex-husband had a restaurant together called
Yes. Mission Chinese
Chinese.
food.
Mission Chinese Food?
Yeah.
Which we
And-
miss every day.
I know. I keep trying to get him to like open up again, and he's so traumatized by the
I'm sure. Well, and it
industry.
sounds like he's been doing fun stuff because I'm friends with Patty and they've been kind of like,
Oh,
traveling
I
around.
love Patty, who's
Patty
an
is the
amazing
shit.
chef, and she works with Danny a lot because they do events and stuff sometimes. I
she's
think.
the coolest, funnest person ever.
Okay, so this was the tweet thread. Let me read it because I forgot. It's been a long
Please.
time since I
Go
thought
ahead.
of this. A story about Pete Wells. The night before Mino was born, Mino's my son, I was in labor when my then husband got an email from Pete Wells saying his review of Mission Cantina was dropping the next day. Mission Cantina was a Mexican restaurant we had after Mission Chinese, which closed. It did very badly. It was alluded that the review was not going to be good. Danny immediately called him and told him I was in labor. Pete kept him on the phone for maybe like an hour or two, and the entire time Danny kissed his ass. I vaguely remember overhearing Pete chuckling at some point. I'm not sure why, but in my very angry mind, I decided that this was some sort of fun power thing for Pete.
And it was.
I don't know
Because
if
you
that's
have
true.
to kind of kiss it. Are you kidding? And like knowing that it's him.
Like
gotta
he was
kiss the ring.
100%.
like he thought it was funny that I was in labor.
He was probably bored. He was probably bored.
You know,
Whatever.
I'm working on this in therapy. Like the way that I see the world is not how everyone sees the world.
Sure.
But you're right. It could have been that he was enjoying that.
Yeah.
Like another story about how much power he has over chefs. He can bring them to their knees. He can make them ignore their wives while they're giving birth. That's not entirely fair to Pete. Oh, good. I put that in there.
Perfect.
I don't know.
And we
what
say
he-
this now, allegedly.
allegedly, and who knows, but he knew I was in labor. Which I think the correct response to that is, hey, you know what? Don't worry
Don't
about
worry about
this.
it. We'll
and
talk
I know
in a
this
couple
means a lot to you, but I don't want to bother you. And to be very fair, Danny was a willing participant. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just all Pete. Like Danny had to stay on the phone with him too, right? Okay. So to be fair to Pete, I don't know that what he was thinking, and it was also equally Danny's fault. Oh my God, I said this in the tweet thread the next day.
Wow, I love when you read something you've written and be like, oh my God, look at me.
Wow, okay. I'm the same person I was 2 years ago.
Fantastic.
Crazy. Okay. The next day, my son was born and the review came out and it was favorable. -1. Oh, 1 star for the New York Times is considered good. 1 star is considered good. But here's the thing. Cantina was a shitty restaurant.
I'm obsessed.
It was good, but it was like Danny was too busy to focus on it. Like his food was good, but it was just like he was like dropping the ball. Not Danny's fault. He's an
amazing chef.
Yeah, he's an amazing chef. My favorite chef. And I'm not just saying that because I used to be married to him. But here's the thing. Cantina was a shitty restaurant. Sorry, Danny. Parentheses. Danny was in the middle of closing the original Mission Chinese and couldn't focus on it. Oh my God. I'm literally just saying things and then reading them.
Well, also the way that like, I remember this as a conversation that we had, but now I'm remembering reading the tweets because I was like, in the car, I was thinking, I think we had this conversation. And now that you're reading the tweets, I'm like, no, I definitely read the tweets.
It just like reads like a conversation. I'm like, no, I don't want to be mean. But
yeah, not to say this. Yeah.
And then it said, it didn't deserve 1 star. Pete gave Danny a star because Danny did a good job playing his game of call me while your wife is in labor so I can laugh about it. Again, I can't say this is what Pete was thinking, but he definitely didn't get off the phone with Danny for 2 hours after finding out I was in labor, which I literally just said again. Danny even said after the call something like he was going to give it no stars, but I think I talked him into giving 1 or 2. So my question here is, what the fuck is the point of having a food critic when they're so easily persuaded by ego stroking / friendship? I am so angry about this because thinking back, it ruined the birth of my son all because of a stupid burrito restaurant. I'm so mean.
So
it wasn't a stupid. It was very good.
Restaurant.
They made their own tortillas.
I never went to that though. Like, you could have been way meaner.
Like it was a great restaurant, but like at the end of the day, a restaurant is a fucking restaurant. You know,
my son is my son.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what restaurant. It could be fucking, and I know the chefs of these restaurants are not going to agree. It could be fucking per se, and it doesn't matter if your wife is giving birth.
Right.
No one gives a fuck about
what year was
per
this?
se.
That's
2020
9 years ago. Yeah.
When he was born was 2014.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So. He ruined the birth of my son all because of a stupid burrito restaurant and some white man's ego. My take on this Dave Chang article. Oh, this was in response to a Dave Chang article that Pete Wells wrote, pretending that he had never heard of the stuff that Dave Chang, the abuse that he had done, which he 100% heard because they're like BFFs. Yeah. And we went to all the same parties, and that's all anyone talked about back then, you know? BS, bro. You knew. Anyway, my take on this Dave Chang article is that there is absolutely no fucking way that Pete didn't know about this abuse. It's all we ever talked about since 10 years ago. He knew this for 10 years. So my other question is, what good is a journalist who sits on information and is passively complicit in abuse?
Well,
we should all ask him why he never brought this shit up. What is the reason? I don't know what I was trying to write there. Well, because what, Melissa?
That's journalism.
I know, but like they're like all journalistic integrity. My fucking ass.
I know.
Okay, you and your fucking little buddies and your country club. Shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah, totally.
Food media is a repulsive, classist, racist industry. I'm not done yet, Melissa. I'm just kidding. Made up of mostly wealthy white people's children. Its parasitic purpose is to prey on the restaurant industry, which is made up mostly of poor people. The irony of the wealthy white class of writers constantly condemning the restaurant industry, which exists to serve them, is completely lost on them. It's truly just repulsive. Yeah. Anyway, I just think, yes, all the articles are right. We in the restaurant industry need to be held accountable. And honestly, I see a lot of us doing that. But what about all the fucking journalists, I didn't write fucking, who kept quiet all these years? Where's the accountability there?
Yep.
And then somebody commented, this is sad. This is how I found out that Pete Wells is married to a Korean woman.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. Wow. Anyway. I love this niche 2014 tea that we just very specific. That's a fascinating story to me. And Corinne's having a photo shoot.
I'm sorry. It's just everything. The vape is right there.
She's so cute.
Oh my God, Corinne's vaping. That's really cute. That's really cute.
I totally forgot about that story.
Wait, what year did you get divorced?
2018. So
cool.
Yeah.
You also, to me, sell divorce. I don't know.
Divorce is the best thing ever.
She always talks about she loves being divorced. And
I
I'm
love
like,
being divorced.
It kind
it's
of
so good.
Looks great. Because I do think that part-time, maybe part-time motherhood sounds ideal.
Oh, because you can share custody.
It's a Louis C.K. bit. Do you remember his bit?
No, I've never watched his stand-up.
Anyone
really?
can be a dad
Never.
part-time or something like that.
Yeah.
Why would I
I had a
watch his
bit
stand-up?
where I was talking
Because
about
we
I love being
didn't know
divorced.
how bad he was for a
No, this is
while.
back in the
but
day.
he's
Back
just
in
no,
the
when
day.
we probably
back in the
started
day.
like stand-up.
Can I
How long
say
have you been
something?
doing stand-up? How long have you been doing stand-up? Like
Since
10 years?
2018.
Only since 2018?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Can
amazing.
I say
divorced.
something?
Wait, can I have a vape?
Yeah. Can I say something? You have to understand that I am not his audience.
Well,
Why
Yeah, no, I get it.
But there was a
He was on
time.
TV
Even
a
in,
lot.
I didn't care. I would see
You
that
didn't
man.
watch his show?
No,
I watched the show.
He was just
You have
always
to
on Comedy
understand.
Central.
But to me,
Yeah.
when I looked at him, I was like,
Even-
I don't want to hear what he has
When
to
I-
say.
Yeah, I get it.
Of
I get
course.
that.
So
Of
for
course.
me,
Completely
it's
get
like
that.
when people are like, "Oh," I'm like, I had absolutely no interest. I took one look and I said, "No, ma'am."
You were also improving during his heyday.
I still knew who he was, and I had no interest, and I still watched a lot of stand up. Girl, my
I
point
get it.
is,
I
that
wish that I was like
No, I
that.
totally get it.
I
Yeah.
am a
I
black
wasn't like, I'm
girl from
obsessed with
Queens.
him.
I know, but
I
I'm
get it.
just saying, like, I have no interest in this man at all. I'm a black girl from
See.
Queens. Why would I do?
Yeah.
I'm an Afro-Latina woman from Queens.
Exactly.
What would I like
Okay,
him?
good for you. You never fell under the spell of Louis C.K.
This is why they say listen to black women.
100%.
We didn't, and look at
I
us
wasn't
now. We
friends
look
with her
fucking.
yet.
Come on now, Youngmi.
We
You
got
could
caught
be a
with our
part of-
mouths open.
Youngmi's on the
like a
podcast
bitch.
now. Listen to Black
This
Women.
is this is my podcast vibe.
Yeah, we have a Sauvignon Blanc.
I love this.
and vapes. Okay, so
And
you love
vapes.
being divorced.
I love being divorced, but it's like, you know that like, this is so funny because I think so many women have said this. There's even like that Cher clip that like really popular where she's
I
like,
am a rich man.
no, there's another one where she's like, my mom said that she was like, I thought you were going to get married, have a kid, get a divorce and live happily ever after. Like there's
Yeah.
like people say this, like women who have, you know, like, I mean, back in the old days, like you had to have like some sort of money or agency to get divorced, you know,
Right.
you have to like,
But anyone can get divorced now.
Yep. And it's great. And
I
don't
love
think-
that.
And I think it's natural. I think like, okay, not to get all like, because I know this sounds like Joe Rogan, caveman days. This is how men used to live. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't it just seem like if that was true, if we look at like gorillas or like whatever primates that were chimpanzees, whatever that we're related to,
Right.
if you look at them, they're like mate and then the man goes away and then you just chill with your fucking girls.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I just
That
made
is
that up.
true.
That might not be
I do
true.
I
think
love
that is
that.
true. I mean, you do have a man though. Your man goes away, but he comes back. You know, he comes around when
Yeah, in
you
his
want to see
child's
him.
life. Because
Yeah.
we are humans and we're like obviously
Yeah.
different to like primates because we need emotional support and he is there. But the life of like not having to live with a man is the life, I
Wow.
think.
Yeah.
I think we
Well,
have
you know,
to
there's
do
the
what's
idea
natural.
that like
It's
they
natural.
say.
It's natural.
I feel like I've heard this before. They're like, marriage isn't for everyone, but I'm like, that's true. But also, like, marriage isn't for everyone to stay in. Like,
Yes.
everyone could and
Yeah.
would, if they want to, and can get married, but we shouldn't feel obligated to stay married forever.
I agree.
Like our moms and grandmas and great grandmas. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the idea of that is leaving you. Is leaving us as a
Societally,
generation.
yeah,
Societally,
for
yeah.
sure.
I feel like it's way more
and now
acceptable
you can
to just
date,
be like,
you can like have your apartment. Like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
so great.
You have your
Yeah.
own life.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, there's I mean,
I'm not
I have
saying
a
it's
lot
like
of
a breeze. I'm sure it's
privilege
hard.
to do that too. You know, I'm like aware that
See.
not a lot of people can. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of women get scammed into marriage early for that reason. Because you have,
why?
because, you know, like we live in New York, so we don't know this, but like I think even in America, most people get married really early.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, that's
totally.
true.
And then they like can't leave because
100%.
of money.
Yeah, because of money or they have kids or whatever. And I think it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's a scam.
It is,
For
and
a
I
lot of
think
women.
like
I'm married.
you know, in a Sex and the City
you know.
sense, like alternative lifestyles. Yeah, she's married. We're
I remember.
Don't get
I'm like-
tempted. She's been mad lately.
I've
at
been
her
mad at him
husband.
lately, and I'm just like, wait.
You're not getting divorced.
I'm not.
Don't
I'm
get
not.
divorced. No,
I'm
no,
not.
don't get divorced.
I actually yesterday was like, I actually really love him. Like yesterday, I was like having that moment where
You're
I was
coming
like,
back.
oh, I actually really, really love him. And he's actually really nice. Even though he's been getting on my nerves lately, he's actually so nice to me. We're just very different people. Sometimes it's hard.
And yet
It's
you're both
cultural. It's
Virgos.
cultural.
You know, as much as I love being divorced,
Mhm.
I like know people that are married and in like long-term relationships, and I'm like, this works. I see that this is working.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think though that like, it's okay. What I'm kind of going through right now in general is this realization that like, I've committed to this person for the rest of my life, allegedly. Right?
Allegedly.
And I have to allow for the times when we aren't getting along, or when he's in a bad mood, or when he has an attitude, or he's the one that needs me, even though he's never going to say that, because we have this whole long life ahead of us.
Yeah.
And social media and the media and everything sells you this, like, you be happy together and you're in a couple and everything is just so perfect. And like social media couple, I've been saying this joke about how social media is ruining my relationship right now because I love seeing the couples and like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it can't always be like that. And I'm okay with it not always being like that because my parents are still married and for what I would call still in love, but they fought and like make up and like go through their ups and downs. And like, I have to remind myself of that because sometimes when I don't get my way or when I'm annoyed or like whatever, I'm just like, I don't need to be, I can go wherever I want to go. I can be a new boyfriend tomorrow. You know what I mean? But it's just
Which
that,
you
like,
could. Yeah.
which I
And
could. But like in general, in life, like people lose parents, you have more money, you have less money, you get depressed, you come out of the depression, you lose a baby, you have a baby, you do all of these things with this person that's your partner. And it's hard. And it's hard, but nobody ever wants to talk about that. Everyone just wants to be like, we're a cute couple and like, look at us.
Well, I think that's just more of a social media problem than anything. Like it's like unfair advertising because, you know, people aren't going to be like, I got in a fight. Not everyone has a podcast where they openly talk about their fights like we do.
Yeah,
so,
we be up in here talking about our boys.
and that's
fighting.
fine.
That's honest. You know,
that's honest.
yeah.
I have some boundaries, obviously, but that's just, especially when you get into like more traditionally married people, you're not going to put that shit online. You just have to like put it through the filter. Carolina really wants to be like a TikTok couple where they're making content together.
Well, you know,
and that's
I
not
do
the vibe
like
of
that
your
look.
husband.
Cute. I like that.
I love that look. It's never going to happen.
Well, you know, for me, when I see that content, to me, it just always looks so fake.
Fake, yeah.
Because they never show arguing, and it's just like, it just seems like
Which is, to be fair,
torture.
hard to share and weird to share.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, but that might be almost like more comforting.
be
If I
entertaining.
was
Yeah.
watching that content, I'd be like, oh, they're like being honest. But then I
Yeah.
hate seeing those couples. They're like,
But then it looks messy sometimes and you're
pajamas.
like, oh God.
I
don't know.
I don't know. I feel
Maybe
like
you
our
can do
fights
it.
aren't even that messy.
No, but I'm just
then
saying
maybe you should
some
be a
people.
social media. Like
And
you
put our
might be an
fights- he will-
You
aspirational
should.
couple.
He will
You
not.
should.
You have to understand, my husband is Muslim and African, deeply African, not like first generation. Like he's been here 8 years in America, kind of
Right.
African from a not as westernized country.
Yeah.
So he's like, what is this? No, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, we got to talk about the
it.
topic. I
Okay,
do love
sorry.
talking about your relationship.
Okay, I just realized corn
Shade?
peed next to my sweater, which that would be my
She-
karma.
She
If my
sure
sweater
did.
Just
She sure did.
starts soaking
And she
it up.
left us. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Behind the
She's
couch.
scrounging.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about our
So,
topic.
you just had a breakup. We were going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
rule followers who I think we all hate, and the rules of a
I
breakup.
don't hate him. I don't hate rule followers. I
kinda do.
respect him. I respect him. I'm just not one of them.
I do. I have a question because I
Yeah.
feel like this is a big thing that kind of like shows who's a rule follower or not. What is your astrological sign?
We're
We're
both
Virgos, double Virgos.
Wow. We are not
But
rule
you're rule
followers.
followers.
It
You are the
sucks.
most rule follower.
Look at this
sign.
pile of our shit over here. No one
Half
can
of
see
that's
this,
my
but
shit.
like, yeah, but like we're not clean. We could
We-
definitely be more
When I tell
organized.
you we're
Are
not
you
rule
judgmental?
followers?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
are
can be
judgmental.
judgmental.
Yeah.
We can, but we are not
On
rule
ourselves
followers.
and others.
And we are enablers. We enable each other to not follow the rules.
Yeah.
pretty much every day.
Are you good at like those Excel spreadsheets? I feel like it's a Virgo thing.
Okay, I'm not. I thought maybe you were.
I hate Excel.
Okay, I hate
it's not user friendly. I don't use it that much, so
this
I
is
just
like
never
I feel
really
like what
learned
all like astrology people do when their astrology theory backfires. What's your big three? What's your rising and your
We're double Virgos.
Double Virgo. I'm Taurus moon.
Why are you so not a Virgo?
I don't
Scorpio
know.
Moon.
You're not Scorpio moon. You're
What am
Pisces
I?
moon.
Oh, I'm Pisces moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taurus
Yeah,
moon.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It sucks.
Wow, you're really proving the astrologers.
We are Virgos in that we have a lot of Virgo
ways.
traits.
Yeah.
Yes. But the
We're both
organization
embodied.
rule following thing that is out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby
I'm a
girl, the way that it's
Sagittarius.
on
You're
the
classic
door.
Sag.
Yeah, I don't follow any fucking rules. I don't even wake up or eat like at any set time.
Sagittarius really don't follow any. You know who's a Sag?
Super
Paris.
independent. Paris, my grandma.
Big rule breaker.
Big time.
My son is Aquarius, and so we're the same. Like we're just like la la la. Like it's such a struggle for us to get him to school every morning. We're like, what are we supposed to do today? And I'm like, oh, school. Duh.
Forgot. We were just hanging
every day.
Yeah. Do you know one of my favorite Mino moments? You guys were at my apartment, and Mia had like moved the remote, and it like landed on Mino's leg, and he goes, "Mia, that's on my leg." I don't like how that feels. Or something like that. It was so cute.
He said that? That's so funny. Kids are so funny.
Kids are so funny.
I was obsessed. He corrects
we have
me
to have
up.
a play date.
100%,
I would love that.
100%.
We have, because I feel like your son is cool and my nephew is cool.
Yeah.
He's just like a cool
Mino
guy. I love hanging out with
dresses
him.
really
I didn't
cool.
when
Like,
you said
he's
that,
so
I didn't
fun.
realize he lived here.
Oh, my
yeah.
nephew?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he lives here. I mean, he
Okay,
lives in New
great.
Jersey, but he comes to stay with me all the time.
Oh, good.
I have
good,
him
good.
for the week. We went to the
just
movies
let me
the
know
other day.
when you're with him, and I'll come hang out with you.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
He comes
Or
to
I could
Chinatown
come
all the
down to you.
time.
Yeah, I bring him. He loves Chinatown. He loves
Yes.
Asian food. He's a king of Asian food, all kinds.
Mino has a favorite restaurant, which I think is really funny because he likes this like, because like we're Korean, so we eat a lot of Korean barbecue, and he likes this like chain, like a Benihana style Korean barbecue
should
chain
definitely
restaurant.
go there.
Let's go there.
And I love it. It's great, but I'm like, this is funny because like you
Where
can
is
just
it, in
go.
K-Town?
No, it's in the East Village.
Okay.
Great.
It's called Gyukaku.
Let's
Have you
go.
been
Let's
there?
do it.
It's
No,
really good.
never been.
Mino loves it. We'll go.
Fantastic. I
Oh
can't
my
wait.
God. I'll text my sister after this and I'll see when can I have him again.
Okay, fine.
I got in trouble last time because he went to
You
school
kidnapped
late.
him. I'm just kidding.
No, he went to school late and I got in trouble.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that was on us.
It happens.
Okay,
Wow.
so you
Okay.
are going through a breakup.
Yeah.
What are your rules of a breakup?
So I don't have any rules because I'm not a
Okay.
rule person.
Yeah, that's true.
But I never talk to them ever again or see them ever. I'm like one of those, which
love
I
that.
think is also a Sagittarius thing.
You're dead to me.
I'm not you're
Really?
dead to me. Yeah.
Just
I'm not
full
friends with
out.
my exes. I'm friends with obviously Mino's dad because we have to co-parent and he's a great dad. And but if we didn't have a kid together, I would not choose to see him, which is I care about him and he's, my friend, but like I just wouldn't because I'm just like, why? It's not even like
So you've
You're
never
boring.
backpedaled ever.
well, this relationship, we actually broke up in the summer. Come on, what is it? And and then we got back together, which is very rare for me. But I mean, I think it's ever since then I was just like, what am I doing? But
Fair.
yeah, usually I'm just like done. Even when I got divorced, I was just like, we're done.
I think those are great rules. And I think that it would save myself. Like I'm queen of like long breakup, months long of breakups. And I think knowing the moment and committing to it is a really good rule.
I'm like half and half. I've gone back and diddly daddled, but then I've also like after my one big one where I went back and forth for years, getting back together on and off. After that, I really learned to just cut it.
Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
hard.
cut it.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It is hard because like
And well, what do you do? Do you delete numbers, block? I do that because I
all
don't
that.
have good self-control. So if I really, really, really want to break up, what's wrong, babe?
what do you think is wrong with corn? What is it?
Maybe
You want
she's
more water?
hungry. Oh my God, look at those ears.
You want more water?
So cute. Where Chihuahua's so cute.
You want more
Is she a Chihuahua?
Yeah,
She's a long-haired
hair
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Oh.
want more water? Oh, maybe.
Ugh.
I don't think that's it though.
Oh my God. She's like, give me more. I want to pee again.
She's like, I just peed. I need more. I need more fuel.
Oh.
She just drink. She's thirsty. This is
Wow.
so interesting. I've never seen her drinking so much water.
Oh my God, look at her.
She's lifting a leg in a.
Is that enough? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why is she so thirsty? She's a thirsty bitch.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Now, don't
We're
you-
keeping all of this in too.
Water break.
This is
Water break.
really good dead air.
Okay. Do you like how all of Corin's things are pink?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's definitely got a style.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Well, I want to
The
know
breakups.
because you were
Breakup
like,
rules.
I'm going through breakup with a real rule follower.
Oh yeah, I saw the list of topics you sent, and then it said rule follower / rule breaker.
Mm-hmm.
So my ex was like super rule follower, and I think if he heard me say that, he'd be like, "No, I'm not."
What sign?
But Scorpio. But
Hot.
yes, I mean, you know, obviously, because I was,
Well, she was like,
sleeping
no.
with him.
Ugly, trash.
Boo.
What made him a rule follower?
Like, I guess he's an artist, so in his mind, that's like, ooh, out of the box.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is he like works as an artist, right? And if you work as an artist and you're not like just an artist, like doing your own art and having shows, you have to like follow so many very rigid rules to get to being a successful artist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially to be successful in New York City, and it's so competitive.
Yep.
You know?
Is he
Totally.
successful?
Yeah. And so
Okay,
it's like, but he is like, you know, like as comedians, right? When you first go into comedy, you're like, I'm going to have a special and do my own thing. Like that's your dream. And in that way, it's like you're not a rule follower. You're like a creative. You're a creator, right? And that's like a lot of artists when they go into that field. But then a lot of, you know, us and our friends that we know as comedians end up having to do like comedy writing for like, let's say for late night. And that is like a 9 to 5. And that is just like a 400 jokes a day. Like that, like
Totally.
It's very rule follow-y. And like if you're the kind of person that is a rule follower in a weird way, like do you know what I mean? Like in your mind, if you think you're going to be an artist and you set out to be an artist.
Yeah. Even before like you get a writing job, you're still having to like be super disciplined about like getting stage time.
Yep.
You have to like make, you know, good decisions as far as like management, all of a sudden you're essentially running a business, which is not the same skill set as telling jokes and performing.
Creative
even
person.
Producing, you have
And
to
that's
produce
the
a
thing.
show.
I
You have
think
to all that
sometimes-
stuff.
I love what you're saying because I feel like sometimes people don't take into consideration like success comes from that. Like that's
Comes
a
from
big
rule following.
part of success is following the rules and being disciplined and being consistent.
And people don't understand
And
that
then
that's a
the
big part
girls
of
who can't,
creative
like-
success.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's a big
hard.
part of like being a successful creative is having this regimented rule followy thinking. But this is me like thinking I'm really mean now, like the Pete Wells thing, like, but you know, I understand. But the weird thing about being a creative is it's very different than like a corporate, whatever fucking accountant job. You need to have the regiment, but you need to also have this cut loose, like crazy thing.
Joy.
Because there's
You have
no
to have
external
joy.
structure.
Yeah, like that you need to create something from nothing. And I think for like my ex and other creatives that are really good at the like rule part, they like are sort of lacking at the like that part, and it like stifles them. It like, you know, plateaus. You like plateau. And this is like
art
super
is even
hurtful.
almost more
if my ex
absurd.
heard this.
Well,
and like,
hopefully you won't.
but also that being said, I don't think he would disagree. Like it's almost like artists that are successful or comedians that are successful in this way, like, oh, I'm like a comedy writer for late night with Seth Meyers or whatever. And I've been there for 20 years, or I don't even know how long he's been on air, but like, that kind of person is a very different person than me, or I think,
Sure.
right?
Us.
Like than us.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I don't think I would thrive.
No,
I think there's a certain person who can fit into a corporate
the rule follower.
mold,
Yeah.
and someone who would not, who it would stifle what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
would
But
kill
then
their spirit.
But the good thing about that is that there's different paths for everyone to take to get to where you want to go, and like within creativity or within the arts.
Is that what kind of
mean?
broke down your relationship or no?
No, I've just been thinking about this so much because I have such a different path. Well, part of it is because one of the things that really bothered me about my ex was that he had the classic path, right, of fucking really famous art school, you know? And then you meet and then you get you meet all these other people that become famous.
Right.
And then you go to the fucking New York Times or whatever, right? Like just like the ladder. It's almost like a corporate like ladder. It's like a
100%.
system, right? Like being a doctor or like a tech guy. Like there's steps you take. You go to fucking Yale and then you go to blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what kind of artist, you know, like it just seems so different in my mind than like a creative artist person. You know, you got a job because you went to the right school. That's like a lawyer or something.
And at the end of the day, like it's, you know, there's obviously ways around it where you can get successful not doing that. But like even creative jobs end up following the same ladder structure as non-creative jobs.
And
it's
like,
such a sad
I got like
realization.
famous on TikTok for being a fucking divorced mom that like fucks skateboarders. Like I did not,
Which is a great path.
That's
I
your
didn't do
path.
that.
Being
We're very
authentic.
different.
Yeah.
Like I'm like not a rule follower.
So did you feel? So you're saying? Do you feel like that maybe lent to
the breakup? I think there was this mild condescension coming from him because he was just like, like it was kind of like that.
Right.
And I always sensed it. I always sensed this like sort of slight, this was one of the biggest problems when we were breaking up, when I broke up with him. I was like, I sense that you're like embarrassed of me in front of your fucking important fucking friends that work at the New Yorker or whatever. And I was like, but I like on paper as an artist, as a creative person, am way more successful than them.
Yeah.
Because
and have your freedom.
Yeah, of my freedom. Because I created something that from my own free will. You know what I mean?
And also that
and it
people,
wasn't like I just like, no, let me draw this Google
but
ad,
it's two different
you know,
ethos.
like,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to take the path of that other people are going to give you this certifiable success versus you took the more like entrepreneur route?
well, authentic in the sense that people relate to you in so many ways, and you're entertaining and you're being relatable, and people connect to you. I have a question. Did you grow up in Korea?
I was born in Korea and I grew up half of my childhood there and then on this island called Saipan, which is in Micronesia.
I kind of knew that from TikTok. So I was wondering, I was thinking about that because you're obviously not a rule follower, but from what I understand about Korean culture is that it is very rule based.
Yup. It's so bad. It's
so what was that like?
Well, because I grew up in that system, and even though, you know, I lived on Saipan, it was like in the Korean community there. I grew up to sort of like despise it and sort of look down on it. And like,
the rule following.
Yeah. And even when I'm like talking about my ex-boyfriend, I think I sensed like an air of like condescension from him. But I think also I felt that way. I kind of looked down on the fact that he thought it was so important that somebody had this job. And I was like, okay, cool. Like that, their art sucks. You know, like it was kind of like that in the back of my head. Like, but I think that comes, exactly. Like from growing up in Korea, like, and be like in Korea, it's comical. Like, it's like, it's so interesting because like, I don't want to be negative of like Korean culture, but just how people talk. What is a corn? Sorry.
Like she needs attention.
What do you
I'm like,
think
I get
she
it.
needs?
Maybe she
I get it.
wants
It's all the
attention.
time.
She just ate before coming. I don't know what like she
No,
just feels like
she feels like the
confused,
attention's
maybe.
not on her, and you know sometimes how I act.
Well, come here.
Karen. What is it?
Sorry.
I feel like this line's going straight to my head, actually.
You love
I'm
it.
not getting any error.
Yep, that's
Sucking
part
it
of
down
the
real fast.
It's part of the being a guest.
I think that's interesting that you say that. I think that sometimes I can kind of relate to that. I didn't grow up, obviously I grew up here.
Yeah.
But I think that I've always even as a child, kind of I think especially because the West Indian part of me, so I'm half Trinidadian, half Guatemalan.
Yeah.
The Trinidadian side, there were so many rules on that side of my family. And it's way more they were colonized by the British. So it's a lot more structured, a lot more proper.
Yeah.
The kind of person that my grandmother wanted us to be was just very proper and prim and good and dress a certain way and always look nice. And I feel from a child, I was always
I'm going to be a theater girl.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I always was I don't want to, be so prim and proper. But I think also because I loved the people that were like that, I have respect it in a way. I respect some people who are like that. Even today I was walking up the stairs in the train and this girl was wearing a camel hat, a camel a camel coat, camel shoes, everything monochrome camel. And I was first I saw her and I was ooh, baby, this is so boring. But then I was I respect it because you do look cute, but it's giving boring. But also you do look cute. So I feel
what
I
do you
be
mean
in the
by
middle
that?
there.
Fashion.
Oh, I get what you mean. You do want to be basic sometimes.
No.
Yes, you do. Well,
no.
Then what do you mean by that?
You fucking bitch. You see this?
Basic's the wrong word.
Just kidding.
I mean,
I would never do that. I would never dress that way.
Proper.
But I do think
You
she
respect
looks
it.
Traditional.
because she looks cute.
Okay.
I respect the people who are like that.
No, I get that. I totally
I
get
thought
that.
you meant you wanted that outfit.
Hell no.
Oh.
Look at me. Bitch.
Yeah, I would never wear it, but I respect it. And I respect
I get
think
that.
it's
I get that.
cute. Or when I go visit my friends in the suburbs and I see their lives, I'm this is cute.
I sort of love the suburb. I love it too.
Cute
I have to say, as someone who grew up in the suburbs, no, you don't want it. You don't want it.
No, I don't want it. No, I don't want it, but I enjoy it while I'm
understand
there
it.
as a visitor.
This rule, that, the comfort of the rules.
I almost
the
did
suburban
it. There is a
home, 2
comfort.
cars, wife, husband, 2 kids, going to soccer
Well, I was
practice.
on that
There's a
track. I
comfort.
easily would have never known you two. I could have easily settled down in Pennsylvania as I had multiple boyfriends who were on the marriage track. Easily. Yeah. For sure.
Been the hottest mom of the
Been
neighborhood.
a hot mom. I probably would be on the same Botox schedule that I'm on now, plus more. But driving an SUV.
But how
crazy.
crazy.
There's something comforting about it. And I don't necessarily look down on it. It's just that I think in this last relationship where I was made to sort of feel bad about it, then I was kind of well, fuck you too then, bitch. I was you guys are stupid. I'm stupid. You're stupid. It was kind of like that. Where I was just why?
Not stupid. You're
why
stupid.
do you guys, I was just being treated like I was a fucking dum-dum. And I was do you know how fucking hard it is to go on fucking stage and talk about shit you don't fucking know? You sit in a fucking studio all day and doodle, draw. Do you know how fucking hard it is to be a real fucking creative with your own fucking ideas that you weren't
Did you ever
paid?
say that to him?
No, but I will if he ever fucking tries.
Did he
it.
ever say, I want to try comedy? Was he ever one of those?
No, of course not.
Okay,
oh my
good.
God. I
feel like
I
that's a lot of
wish
them.
that he did because he would see how hard. And I was just hey, all you have to do is baseline respect the fact that you don't understand what I do. I'm really good at it. And I see that you're good at whatever
Talk your shit, bitch. Woo!
Yeah, what you do. And I respected his art. I never fucking was just whatever, drawing little pictures. Don't fucking treat me like what I do is shit just because I didn't go to a good school. And I didn't get into I don't even fucking know what they're things that they judge each other on. I'm you can respect me. I'm a different kind of artist than you. I'm not a rule follower.
But was this person fun? Because I'm not going to lie, they don't sound fun.
No.
I
yes,
think there's
I
a
don't
different,
know.
there's
I don't
a
know.
certain, sceney fun. You know what I mean?
Honestly, thinking about it wasn't fun. I was very in love with him. I was very in love with him. I think he was a great person. And at the core, I think he was a good person. And
when this is over, will you show me a picture so I can visualize?
Yes. Okay. But like these things that like, you know, when I saw the rule follower thing on the list, I was like, these are things that you don't think about in relationships, you know, like what kind of person is this? Is this like what do they respect? What are their core values? And I think when you like,
well, did he ever do anything where he did break a rule or he was bad and you were like, ooh, is that a little peek of something fun?
Not to me, but
Never?
he insisted on saying that all of his friends thought he was chaotic, and I was like,
and you were like, wow.
Where?
Chaotic where?
Is chaotic in the room with us right now?
I don't see her.
Where? I was like,
Never
what?
mind.
And he was like, well, I do seem chaotic, but compared to you, I don't, I guess. And I was just like,
I mean, there are levels to all of that stuff. And
there are levels.
What I'm hearing is like he needed this for his identity. Like, I'm chaotic
because I'm
a crazy artist and I whatever. And
meanwhile,
like
he's
that
like up at 9 like this.
the persona. And sometimes that's what they're selling.
Yeah.
And us as well. You know, every creative person who's buying in, there is some level of public facing persona. And it sounds like he was giving I'm crazy and you were seeing behind the curtain, which is the reality is you're
but he
typing
wasn't
at 9
even really
a.m.
giving I'm crazy, to be honest.
No,
I'm like,
he was
who?
thinking
like,
I'm crazy
who
and
says you're
chaotic.
Or he was
chaotic?
trying to give.
Who said you're
Well, you know what it is?
chaotic?
It's like when someone's not self-aware.
I can't wait for you to see the picture.
I
'Cause
can't
you're gonna be
wait
like,
to
that
see
looks like the most like buttoned up, like, like you're gonna.
That's your
freak out.
suburban boyfriend.
I mean,
yeah.
if I can find a picture of my ex who literally worked in finance, you'll scream. You'll scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there is a level of like, is he self-aware and knowing that he's actually not that? Or is he drinking his
Exactly.
own Kool-Aid of like, no, I actually
Sounds like he
am
was
chaotic.
drinking his own Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Because I can respect it if you're like, I know that I'm the buttoned up 9 to 5 person. I know that because well, say what you want to say about my ex-boyfriend, Jonathan. He was like,
Jonathan.
Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to him. Hey, boo.
She tried to make me go to his like graduation picnic.
He got
like
his MBA
not
from
long
Cornell.
ago, full married.
Wow.
Yes, girl. But anyways, at least he was like, yeah, I am a corporate 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Suit wearing.
Exactly.
I love money.
Yeah.
I think Elon Musk is cool.
No.
Yes, like,
I
but at
respect
least he
that.
was like,
So
I
upset.
respect that.
I respect. I mean, he never said that
You know
to
what?
me
You're
when
right.
we were dating.
You're
but
right. That's honest. At
post dating.
least.
But at least it was like he is who he is, and I feel like even now,
Honest. Yeah.
in my relationship, obviously Hamide is nowhere near like that, but he is still like the more straight-laced person. But he, in our relationship, at least we know he is the more straight-laced person who's like, we have to do this on time. And I'm like, we don't have to, we have a couple weeks to pay for that. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, we must do it right now.
Yeah.
At least he's like, you are crazy. I would be.
He'll be
Well,
the
here's
dad.
the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing with the rule follower thing also that I'm going to say. Like, this sounds like your ex too, right? What you're saying is it's fine if you're a fucking rule follower and your partner is not or whatever. But if your partner is making you feel bad,
Mhm.
that was what bothered me. I was like, why are you fucking acting like I'm a piece of shit? Like, I have my shit together.
Yeah.
I have my life together.
But also, why are you here with me?
Embarrassed that I'm doing what I do.
It sounds to me.
If because you don't like it that I like I'm not like one of those like fucking whatever nerds that.
But
Yeah.
also, I
But
think he
also-
liked
He
that
wants
you
that.
are who you are. He
Exactly.
wants to be you.
He wants that.
But yeah, also I'm like,
So
I'm like
part
in
of
your
his chaotic
in your
image,
mind,
in his
you're
mind,
saying
he's
you
like-
want to be that, and you're not that, and then you're also like cutting me down for being that. Like you actually don't respect that about me.
Yes, but
So it's
also,
like this,
don't you
like,
think that
weird,
dating you?
false.
that might just be insecurity. I think he
Yeah.
probably did really respect it.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I mean,
know.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know.
figure it out still. 'Cause
Here's my
I was like, why
question.
did you act like you're fucking embarrassed by me all the time? You know, like
This is my
in front of
question,
your
though.
important fucking friends.
Right.
He's saying that his friends think he's the chaotic one. And then he's dating like the hot comedian girl who's
Thank you
like
for saying that.
actually just like really fun and doesn't care about what people think. That looks good for his image. That looks good for who he thinks he is.
Right.
But he can't handle it because the reality is he's like, oh, wait, now I'm actually sitting next to someone who is like the thing that I want to be, the thing that I think that I am.
Interesting.
And it's making me feel like, oh wait, he's seeing the cracks in his facade.
But then you're at a crossroads where it's okay. Can we admit that to ourselves? Like, can he say like, okay, I'm not that, she is that, cool. We can both be aware of it and like function in the relationship like that. And like, I admire this about you. And maybe you would admire some stuff about him.
And I do admire, actually, like, you know, obviously I was making fun of it this entire time, but like I admire somebody that goes into a field and like, you know, like whatever, you go to a good school, and I know how fucking competitive and rough that is. That's a lot of fucking work to stand out in a crowd of people that do exactly the same thing that you do, and to come up in New York City and be like, you know, an industrial artist that's like successful. That's fucking hard. That's like every small town in the world sends their one art kid to New York City. And you're competing with all of those fuckers. Like, that is fucking hard. And I respect that. That means that he's very good at what he does. And there is nothing in me that wants to be like, well, like I'm better than you, like that. But then seeing him do that to me, being like, I didn't go to college, so I'm a fucking dumb, and I'm just like that.
No,
I was like,
he
you know
said
what?
something.
No, he didn't say that.
He's
but
giving
he
that energy.
was like,
He's giving that
like
energy.
he was like, you know, like in that when he like introduced me to people, and I'd be like, I'm a comedian.
I'm a comedian is never an easy
literally
intro.
see him like pushing my head back, and I'm like, can I have some wine? Like that. You're like, and I was like, can I come out of the bathroom now?
It's brutal.
Like,
and it's stuffy. It's stuffy environment.
And I was just like,
I guess I'll just sit here in the closet.
like, tell me when you're done. And I was just like,
it's not cool.
And then it made me react like, well, fuck you then, you losers, like that. And I don't want to be like that.
No,
either.
you don't,
like,
but good.
I do respect him and his friends. Whatever.
Well, then welcome me the fuck in. If you want me to like function well and be whatever,
be nice to me.
But I think it's like kind of like what you were saying. It's like to be like open-minded enough to be like, oh, like you did this with your career, has to like face something that's like kind of dark for him and all the other rule followers. Like,
I mean, we trigger rule followers. Can we talk about that? Like, do you ever just meet someone and you know you're triggering them? Like, and they're a rule follower?
Every job I've had.
I mean, every
time I've been employed.
Jobs, especially when I worked at this Australian fashion brand. I used to work in fashion, and I worked at this one Australian fashion brand, and first of all, I was the only black person. So that
Australian people hate black people.
They hate us so much. Thank
racist.
you for seeing that.
It was really hard to watch.
It was crazy. It was the kind of racism.
Too? Melissa was
there
too?
She wasn't there, but we were friends, and I was telling her. It was just like, it was the most intense and like kind of ludicrous racism I'd ever experienced. It would be ludicrous. And I was also like, you hired me. Why did you bring me here to do this to me?
Can this be my clip? Me being like, Australian people hate black people.
Yeah, it can be.
I know that for a fact. Too. No,
I know that for a fact. I researched it.
No, I've never been to Australia, and I have no desire. My friend just married an Australian man. I actually like him. She's black and he's white, but he's cool.
Some of them are great.
I think like 1 out of 100 is fine. You know what I mean? I truly believe that.
Stats.
Those are stats. 1 out of 100, and I feel like that's not that bad.
Those are great stats. No, actually, there is a official statistic that the UN. This was a while ago, but they declare, like, this is fucked up because this is like, who trusts the UN at this point?
Nobody.
But they declared that all white countries are like, they like rate them with a racist measure, and they're like, all white people are not racist. Like, which is hilarious.
Would they put it on the census? Like, what are they talking about?
I forgot. Like,
that's such a lie. Who's measuring the racism?
Such a lie.
I need the black people to confirm this study. Like, I want this study to be conducted by black people.
But they give them like a point system. But even in that system, they were like, no, white people are racist except Australians.
Okay,
and they've like got a really bad score on it. I gotta look into this. This has been so long ago since I read this article.
Really funny. And
I really like my friend's husband. I want to go to Australia, but I just don't know if I have it in me. Because the way that they treated me, I'm like, oh my God.
No.
So bad. Yeah.
But I triggered those girls also because they knew I was a comedian. They knew, I mean, this is a great brand. It's beautiful gowns.
Nobody likes
beautiful
to, like,
gowns.
I'm pursuing my dream. This is my day
Beautiful
job.
gowns.
Exactly.
You're not gonna love that.
It triggers the fuck out of them. They hate
and that's
it.
kind of
or even when you just meet, sometimes I meet people out and they're like my friends that aren't in the creative industry.
I'm so glad you're talking about this.
When you meet someone who's
so
just
glad.
like, and then you're like, oh, I'm a comedian or I'm an actress. And then they're like,
suddenly no one can function.
And you're
no
like,
one can
I live in
function
New
around
York
you.
City. And it's like, where you don't have a house? No, I live in an apartment with my 2 cats and my husband.
I love that you're talking about this.
You know what I mean? And then people are like,
some people hate it.
They hate it because it's like, first of all, bitch, like I said, I love your suburban home. I love your 2 cars. I love your 2 beautiful dogs. Like, I love all of that. I wish I could be like that. I simply cannot. This is who I am.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
if
beyond,
I could, I would.
It's literally them being like, there's another option. I didn't even look at that.
I can't even think about
it. It's maybe
like
a bit of buyer's remorse and whatever. But
You know,
I think comedian makes it next level because people cannot function around comedians to save their lives. Do you ever, like, if an Uber driver in LA asks you what you do, you would never say, or anywhere, maybe not LA.
Driver.
I work in entertainment, or I say I'm under
that I'm
NDA.
a comedian. Ever.
I don't say anyone.
Especially
I say
men.
I work in entertainment.
Oof.
No, you can't say
especially
it.
I feel like when
Nobody
you're a
can
woman
function.
and you say you're a comedian, they're like,
no
well,
one can function. They say, tell me a joke.
So you
I
must
do
show your
stand-up.
titties or something
of
fucked up.
course.
It's
Or
so
they try to tell you
bad.
what you should make jokes about.
Yeah, I would never tell a fucking man that I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know.
And like this was like kind of this is a really good point. I'm glad that you brought this up because like I feel like I was like going in to this world of people that gave up their dreams to make a living, which is, I understand it.
Me too.
And they get to live in
y'all
this
got money.
And they get to live in this life where
I went to Parsons and I'm an illustrator for blah, blah, blah.
and like they get to like pretend that they're creative when they're actually just kind of good at like coloring.
There is a level of New York creatives, which is
Yep.
actually
Just-
New York corporate.
Yeah, they just
They get
sort
to
of
do
doodle.
Yeah,
they just sort of copy paste all day. And then it's like when they are like around people that are like actually doing stuff. Like if not just me, I'm like, if they were around like a real like painter that is famous for being a painter, and has their own gallery shows, like that would fuck them up. That would make them feel like shit. And I think there is a level of that too.
There is.
That might be the Sauvignon
because
Blanc
they
speaking,
didn't say,
it's true.
okay, I'm gonna be an accountant. They're like,
but
I'm
they
doing
ended up
what
being
I-
an art accountant basically. And then all their jobs were just like, seamless.com wants you to draw a dancing hot dog on a banana or something. And it's just like, and they're doing that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is that?
Well, they're making money is what they're doing.
And
I
that's
ain't
fine.
at it. And they've got beautiful
Good for you.
homes and beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns.
They had beautiful
Gowns.
gowns. I must say, they all had beautiful gowns.
I bet they did.
Their gowns were
Gucci, Prada,
beautiful.
Louis Manolo.
But,
And I think the wine's getting to me too.
What advice would you give someone who's in a rule breaker, non-rule breaker relationship?
okay, so again, I know I always I keep falling into pockets of really talking shit, and I feel like
Listen, this is a safe
even though
space.
this
This is a
sound
safe
that
space.
no, but even though it doesn't sound that bad, I feel like for me as an artist, the worst thing I could fucking possibly hear is somebody telling me that I draw hot dogs for seamless.com, which is like the reality for a lot of people. Like that is hurtful. Like, and I know I keep falling into these pockets of talking shit because I feel resentful that I was condescended to.
Yeah,
Right.
you're not doing it out of like
That's the place
nowhere.
we're coming to.
Yeah,
You're
from.
coming from.
But I must say, which I already said, there's nothing wrong with being a rule follower. Like that is a hard fucking job. That is a great job that you did to get ahead. Whatever the fuck you're doing to make money doing art, period.
Yep.
That you are fucking talented. And no one can tell you that, even me, no one can tell you that hot dog that you did for Seamless, it sucks because it's good.
No one can say Pete Wells was like, don't go with your pregnant wife.
No one can. Even Pete Wells, if he's listening to this and he's like,
Well, you hurt my feelings.
I hope he is.
Pete Wells is a rule follower, right? Hi, Pete.
Yeah, we love him.
I can't take that away from you, Pete. You conned your way into that job, and you cheated all these other people that were also went to good schools.
Is the problem
and
just
were
like
writers.
capitalism? Is it at the end of the day, like, are you subscribing or not? Are you
No,
keeping your
but we are
integrity?
subscribing.
I'm subscribing
but
too.
what
But
I'm
I'm just
saying
saying,
is-
are there
No,
levels of subscription?
The
Yes.
advice that
at
I
the
was
end
going
of
to
the
say,
day,
the
like,
advice,
you know what I mean?
the advice I was going to say is whether you're a rule follower, whether you're Pete Wells or you're not rule follower and you can't wake up at the same time every day, you should never feel bad for who you are. Never,
Love
ever, ever.
that.
And don't let your partner make you feel bad. So yeah, like if you're like me and you can't fucking literally get your shit together to like answer one email, it takes me like weeks to answer one email, and I can't get my son to school on time.
Relatable.
And then I like
I'm the bad auntie.
And
I always take
yet,
my nephews.
and yet, who has pre-sale for their book coming out that I didn't get to in the intro?
Come on, T.
But even like when I was writing my book, in my head, I was like, I'm going to wake up and write this 9 to 5 every day. And I didn't. I wrote it at 3 a.m.
Well, because
one
writing's
day
insane.
out of the
Writing's
year.
insane.
Like,
What, I have to find the
exactly.
one like
because I have to
hour
wait
period where
to
my
be
brain
moved
works?
and to
Yes.
You
be.
can't just
No, it's
force
insane.
it.
It's
Yeah, it's
insane.
a
And when you do
creative
force
process.
it, it is the worst.
The
feeling
worst.
ever.
So
Ever.
So whether you're like somebody that like makes one thing a year and it's good, or you're like a rule following 9 to 5 person that did
Cranking
all
it
the
out.
right steps and now you're getting ahead in your career, you should never feel bad. That's totally fine. That's just who you are. And don't ever let your partner make you feel bad about that
Yeah.
or condescend to you because you didn't do what they did, which was a problem in my last relationship. Like, don't ever, it doesn't matter if you're a fucking, you know, like, I was going to say it doesn't matter if you're like a doctor that went to Harvard. Of course they don't. They're not over there like, oh, I'm a doctor that went to Harvard. I feel bad about myself. But like, no matter what you are,
Who knows?
good for you. That's how your brain works. And you should be proud of that. And if you're not, then that's also good. That's just who you are. You
Find
just
your
gotta,
path.
yeah.
Do your own thing.
you just gotta, and you know what? No, even if you hate yourself, because I hated myself for so many years for being like this, for being somebody that literally physically couldn't go to college because I like have like severe ADHD. I hated myself for so long, but it never changed. I'm still who I am, you know?
And yet you found your
And
way.
you made it. Like,
Yeah.
you made it work, and
I just had to
thrive.
like find, my way around it instead of trying to
Yes.
force it like,
yes.
like that. Like it just didn't work. It just doesn't work. So it's like, might as well just.
Sometimes the
Do
most
it the
annoying
one
thing
way.
to hear and to think about, I think, is that like literally it's just like we are all meant to walk on our own paths and go through our own journeys. But it's like, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it the way that other people did it. And you know what I mean? Because it feels like that's the right way to do things. And that's why you hate yourself sometimes. Or like,
Yeah.
I'm relating to what you're saying because I also feel like I go through periods of where I'm like, why can't I just be like this? Why
Yep.
can't I be more disciplined? Why can't I be like this or that? And it's just like, but I am who I am. And yes, I can push
Celebrate it.
myself and try to push myself. Or I could just like go somewhere and be myself and pray that that shit fucking rocks out because it is what it is. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
I've tried
doesn't
to
work.
not be who I am.
Yep.
It literally, I physically cannot, like you said.
Me neither. Yeah. And like, look at you. You're also, we're doing it in the way that we were meant to do it. You know what I mean?
T.
Instead of whatever. But like in just relating to the story that I told, find a partner that also feels the same, like doesn't.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if
judge
that
you
person should
for
be your
that.
Yeah.
partner if they're judging
They
you.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Not
And I was like,
necessarily
dude, just
across the board.
And I think the last conversation we had, I was like, find somebody that's like you and you admire and respect. Cause it's like,
Yeah.
That's what I said to that's kind of the conversation that where things ended, or not even when it ended, but when my ex-boyfriend and I were able to like talk again, it was like, I wish for you to find someone, you get your Michelle Obama. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Because that's what he needs and that's what he wants.
Yeah.
You don't want all of this.
Mm-mm.
We had
Yeah,
great
we're not
chemistry
Michelle
and we liked
Obamas.
each other.
Let's
No,
be
we are
honest with
not Michelle
ourselves.
Obamas. And that's
Let's be honest with ourselves. We
No.
are not Michelle Obama.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And get you your one.
Yeah.
And you'll be happy. And I found me my one who is like, I think ultimately I'll always need someone who's a little bit more like on their shit than me. Because I'm fucking banging around
Chaos.
inside of a little ball. I'm chaos. I am actually chaos. I know it. I need someone who's going to ground me, but I need someone who's going to accept me for who I am.
Yep. And
And
also
that's that.
celebrate it.
And also celebrate
that
it.
feels
Oh,
good.
you guys are making me love him again.
Enthusiastically.
That's amazing.
What?
You need that.
Love your ex?
No, holiday.
No.
I thought you meant Jonathan.
No, because now that we're having this conversation,
I got
I
what you
mean,
said.
I'm
I
surprised
understood
it
what you
took
said.
this long.
yeah,
Like,
having this
that's a
conversation
great-
made me really
that's-
appreciate him today.
yeah.
A really great trait in a partner, and you need that. And I didn't have that.
To be clear, Leisure Shanna does that too.
He does.
We can't throw him.
Oh
under
my
the
God,
bus.
Leisure Center is her biggest champion.
Can't even say Leisure Center because of the wine.
That's what I need in a partner. That's what I didn't have
Someone
in my ex when we
who
broke up.
celebrates you,
Like,
and
just
someone who's like, I'm
no
your
one should be
biggest fan.
embarrassed. Yeah, they should be your number one fan.
Yeah,
And I was like seeing somebody before this relationship who was like that, and it was like so energizing. It was just like, fuck yeah. Like this person, I have one fucking person like that's got my back, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that was part of the reason why I was like, I have to break up with this person.
No,
Right.
why?
Oh no, this
this one.
breakup.
Oh, I was like the
Where I'm
last one. I was like, oh.
I was like, I need somebody that's like psychotically obsessed with me.
Yes,
'Cause, like,
absolutely.
You need like a Kanye West for Kanye West. Like I need somebody that's like a Kanye West to himself.
Yes, love me like Kanye love himself.
Exactly. Yes, that's the saying that I was. Sorry,
I don't know if we have time to get into all of that. We got to wrap up.
We do have to wrap up. But Youngmi, you've been.
Sorry, was I not supposed to
wish.
bring up Kanye West?
No, we don't care.
I just think that
it's our
requires
time.
another hour of talking.
Yeah, it's just
and I
our
would
time.
love to get into that. I would love so much. But talk us through pre-ordering the book.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
the name
my-
of the book.
So my book's coming out. Oh my god, the name is I'm laughing because I'm crying, or it might be the other way around.
Okay.
I'm laughing. I'm
Crying because
crying
I'm
because I'm laughing. Maybe
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I think the pre-sale goes out on February 5th, which I will put on social media. And I'm gonna do a little book tour in November. It's coming out in November, but the pre-sale goes out pretty soon in
Amazing.
February.
Okay.
So.
And what's your social media? Share that.
My social media is YM Mayor or Youngmi Mayor on TikTok.
Amazing.
Follow her on TikTok. It's really
Definitely.
I have beautiful gowns.
good. Beautiful gowns.
One thing you can say about me.
Is one thing you can say about Youngmi is that she got beautiful gowns.